wary now of vintage semiconductor equipment, but I guess that's the wretched British AF117 type things that cause a problem there. But I've got a couple of Eddystone EC10s, and they've always been a load of trouble really, and not worth bothering with. Vastly overrated, like most of Eddystone's offerings in my opinion there. Anyway, had a look out the window. Now it's starting to get light, but it's a dull grey morning here, and looks like a bit of rain there. Right, over to you, Justin. GW0FZY, G4OJY.
W0FZY returning. Oh, it was a bit too quick on the key there. Yep, okay there, Andy, and fine business from you. Everybody's coming through really well, actually. Some good signals. Give a few reports. Paul, 20 over. Mike, about 20 over. Andy, you're at 5.9 plus 10. John, about 10 over 9 with me, and Trevor was coming in very well, actually. 5.9 plus 10 on the fourth square, and Jan about 5 and 7 to 5 and 8, but all Q5. So no problems copying everybody. Yeah, fine, okay on the ART13 there, Paul. Well, it sounds pretty good. I was just wondering actually how far Ian's getting on with his ART13. I know he was sort of a bit flummoxed by the auto tune. So I haven't heard anything. I think he's away. I think he's gone on holiday or something. So I'm sure he's probably listening at the moment on his phone. So if you are listening, Ian, morning to you. What else? Yeah, all okay on 60 meters. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can sort out an aerial for 60. I've actually got a dipole which the Storm bought one leg of it down for 160, which I haven't really got on 160 at all this winter. Every time I have gone on it, there's not been that many people around. 60 meters looks like a possibility. I might just shorten that dipole and use it on 60 meters. Might not be a bad idea. So I'll have to look at some possibilities, because I've got this, what do they call it again? A tenor mast, that's it. I've got a tenor mast which at the moment is supporting the 160 meter dipole, but which isn't being used. So effectively I've got a spare mast to put something up with. So that might be something to do when the weather gets a bit better. So watch this space, as they say. What else? Oh, well, talking of receivers, I had somebody come round yesterday to pick up my AR88, which I eventually moved on. I sold a couple of my big boat anchor receivers just to try and make some space. The AR88 was one of them, and some chap came all the way from Cheshire, I think it was, somewhere around that area, and picked it up. It's sort of, I think, coming back to what you were saying, Andy, the stuff that we have isn't really worth that much, I think. I mean, I sold it on eBay for £40, and I think, because of the fact that it's so heavy and, people don't really want to bid on it. So if you're prepared to collect these items, then they go for quite cheaply. So this guy obviously got quite a good bargain. It was a working AR88, and he paid £40 for it. And he came and collected it, just stuck it in the back of his car, and off he went. So that was quite good. At least it's gone to somebody who's going to use it. I think that's something of a bonus. If you have all this stuff and then at the end of the day you don't know what to do with it and ends up being chucked in a skip, I think that's not so good. But if you got something, even if it goes for sort of next to nothing, at least it's going to a good home. Somebody will use it, which I think suits me much better. Right, let's keep it going round. I think it goes back to you then, John. GW4 SRE, GW0 FZY.
GW4 FZY. GW4SRE. Nice signal. We're about 15, 20 over the 9. Obviously you're not very far away. Yes, I had one here for a while. It filled the shack with smoke. And but I virtually give that away. Cheaper than yours, actually, a tenner. Some guy come and picked it up. I stuck it on Facebook in the vintage and military radio receiver group on there, and some guy in Bridgend came and picked it up and took it away. I even gave him a manual to go with it. I don't know if he's had any success. And I inkling that the oleo transformer had gone open circuit, which can be a pain with an AR-88. You know what, it took me ages to get rid of that stink, that capacitors and resins that generates. But it's gone in the end. And so nothing that big anymore is going to end up in this shack. Nothing big and heavy. The heaviest thing I got now, I suppose, is the linear now, the amplifier. If your picture is still somewhat accurate, Paul, it's linear amps Ranger 811H. That's in one corner out the way, and it does get used regularly. So, but no, everything else is a reasonable weight, as I like to call it, mid-range, like 19 sets, etc. It's yes. Anyway, you're talking about 60 meters. I know I think from Brian's collection, Justin, you've got a Clansman RT320. I may be talking rubbish. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I find with a lot of military kit, it performs exceptionally well on 60 meters, where it's aligned and peaked for that particular band. I'm somewhat aware that may be the case, and they work very well indeed. You get maximum signal, and the receive is always good compared to something like 80 or 40, etc. So you don't want to part with it unless you don't like green stuff. It can be very good. I wonder how you're supplying it. You've got a couple of batteries to go with it. I run this one as a shack radio off an old ex-computer power supply, capable of about 15 amps. I'm just I've just peaked it above 24 volts, and it performs quite well. That is plugged into an anti-surge adapter, mine. You have to be a bit careful. You don't want the spike off the mains, do you? So that's you got to take all them things into consideration when you operate this green stuff off the mains. And I also run the French bit of kit too, which is very similar in construction, and that is done, although that's dual voltage, although that one's selected 12 volts, and all again performs very well on 60 meters. I don't know whether or not the looks as though your WhatsApp video has come through, Mike. Then when it comes to that technology, all right, some people will poo-poo it, but it's handy very much for sending each other information, pics of what's going on, instant videos of what you happen to be doing at that time. I find it's very good for that. You can't blank things like that completely. And I find that it's exceptionally good. I don't take a lot of notice of Instagram, and only occasionally use Facebook for my own ends. So that's what it's there for. Okay, let's put it on. Not waffling. I think Trevor is gone. So does it go to you, Paul? And if not, pass it on. M1 PVC GW4 SRE.
G0 TBI on my list. Okay, John. Yes, Trevor's gone, so you did good putting it to me. Absolutely no problem. Yeah, interesting you talk about using the Facebook site there for selling things. I've never tried that, but I still do have some remnants of modelling stuff that I've got to get rid of, and I don't fancy putting it on the other famous auction site at the present moment. That seems to be full of pitfalls and problems, so I should be doing that, because it's getting up to the time when people do start modelling. Mind you, nobody actually builds anything these days. That hobby went the same way as this hobby. Less and less stuff gets made when you can buy it out of China remade, or totally made up, and just get it out of the box and use it. Anyway, yes, all interesting stuff. And okay, John, on the AR88 and the sale, well, they don't make much money. They're just too big. I've never owned one. There's a couple of times I've been silly enough to put my card up at BMA's auction, and thankfully I've lost each time. I've only heard of one in recent times that made a decent amount of money, and that was Ian's M0YMKs. As Andy said, normally they're about 10 quid, and that's it. So yeah, you know, some of this stuff, you know, we need to reset our mind as to values, because it's likely to be going down rather than up. Anyway, it's irrelevant. I have my equipment because I use it, and that's what it is. It's not something that I consider as a financial asset in any shape or form. Anyway, that's just me, though. I think you said you had fog there, Mike, earlier on. It's a bit murky here this morning. We had a lovely red sky last night, but as I say, the morning is a dull, overcast, and certainly foggy. Not too bad, but it's there. I haven't been out there to test the temperatures or anything like that, but we'll see. I've actually got to find myself a job of work to do today. I might actually have a go at the lockdown transmitter. That needs serial changeover, relay changing, and I have one of those Jennings vacuum relays that Martin was selling to put in there. I might get on with that. Right, round to you there, Stuart, and then on to my EJM, please. G0 TBI, M1 PBC.
Fine, okay. Good signals. John's coming through quite nice with a WhatsApp message. Pity I can't get on the group. And you're 5.9 also, Paul. In fact, both above 5 and 9. Didn't sleep very well actually. I was up at bloody 3 o'clock, which I didn't want to be doing, because I had intended to then get up at 7 this morning, but it all went by the by. I think I picked up a bit of a cold, so I'll have to go off and start with it, but I've got lots to do today. I'm travelling today, so yeah, there we go. Right, anyway, I'm not going to delay. I'll leave you to your WhatsApp messages, and if you're listening, Cheltenham, we'll get to the bottom of it by hook or by crook, otherwise I'm gone, and that's the forecast. and there'll be one almighty row. There really will. I'm sorry guys for venting my spleen. I really am. I've never known anything like it in my life. Over to you, Mike, and if you want to call me back in, please do later, otherwise I'll understand why. And this is the 1509, of course, and the receiver at the moment is a Conway with SDR. I gather there's only 3 or 4 people on, I don't know who's on. Right, G4EJM, G0TBI.
G0 TBI in the group, go for it. Get rid of Mike, yes, okay, Stuart. I have to say the G1509 sounds great. It's very loud, Stuart. Not just a strong signal, but very loud, very strong modulation. Sounds really good. They give a good account of themselves, don't they? Never had one. But, anyway, it sounded good. Yeah, the Drake stuff, Justin, I remember Alan having some Drake commercial equipment, and it was, just from memory, it was a sort of 19-inch or not quite as wide as 19-inch maybe, with a separate transmitter and receiver all in the same box, you know, and it looked beautiful, and he used to come on with it, but he could never get good AM out of it, because it was sideband rig really, and in the end he parted with it, and I would have loved that, you know, but he sold it before I knew he was selling it, you know, so I don't know who ended up with that, but I think he really liked that, Justin. I think they were probably a marine setup or something like that, you know, but it was smashing condition and everything, looked really good. Anyway, and I think on the AR-88, well, yeah, I think it's anything you really wanted to go to a good home, don't you? Not go into somewhere where they're going to pull it to bits and use it sell it for parts or whatever, you know. But I think the AR-88 is one of the best receivers you can get, really. They're extremely stable, and the filters, the bandwidth filters work well, and they don't go wrong very often, you know. I think they're a cracking receiver, and I've got one, which John gave me when he knew he was going to pass away. And after he went, we went to his house and with the radio club guys and emptied all his stuff out, and I have to say, got a hell of a lot. And the AR-88 was mine, so it's in the shack here now. Well, it's in the garage down below where it's all set up with my ET4336. So it's a really nice RCA, complete RCA station. You know, I think values. I think some radio amateurs have always been notorious for wanting stuff for nothing, you know. But certain things are worth quite a lot more money than others, aren't they? For the rarity and whatever, you know. And it's always probably worth paying for condition, you know. Anyway, I like my AR-88, it works really well. Yeah, it's still foggy, Paul. I'd say the visibility is about 100 yards. Maybe a little bit more, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I finally got the WhatsApp thing working, John. You have to jump through a lot of hoops to make contact with each other on there, seemingly to me, you know. It always puzzles me a bit. And yeah, I look at on the Facebook or Instagram, there's something on there, John. You should look at this, called Reels. And they're little videos that people take and send in of all kinds of things. I tell you what, they're really entertaining. So some nights when I don't want to watch the telly, I'll sit with my feet up on the sofa and just watch them on my phone. Really, that's the easiest way. and it goes from one little video to another, and it can be anything, all kinds of stuff that people send videos in of. But they're really entertaining, and some of them, you know, you're rolling off the sofa laughing, you know, with dogs and cats and I don't know, all kinds of things, you know. So it's worth a look at if you're bored one day, John. I don't put stuff on Facebook. Well, we have little videos like the garage. My daughter does them, like little walk-arounds and tips of the day from a mechanic, you know, and all that stuff, you know. And she puts little short videos on there from that, you know. So I don't put stuff on it, you know. Anyway, it is entertaining. Right. Well, quite pleased with the receiver. It's working quite well, really. And it's I never painted a front panel, and the stuff's written on the front with a marker pen, so it looks a bit shabby, really. But it's working really well. I think I might route one of my other pre-production ones out and have another go at that. You know, you can surprise you got the patience. You can iron out these little make improvements to these things. You know. Okay, I think I'll go get some breakfast now, boys, so I'll leave you to it. And pass it on to, where's it go? Andy still, don't it? Just call it JY, got a record in Mike.
G3YJO, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, G3YJO from G4OJY, and reasonable signal on the calling, and Stuart 59 plus, so obviously a good signal from you there. Okay, 60 metres, Justin. Yeah, it's been very disappointing. I don't think I've worked anybody stateside this winter. There's been absolutely nobody on there. And 80 metres, very poor. A couple of stations you can work most mornings, but there used to be a lot more activity there up on the top end of 80, and it's all just dropped off. Everybody's on FT8, I think, so it's sad state of affairs, really. No, can the AR88, Michael? I think it's the best receiver, one of the best receivers there is anyway, and who cares about the size? You've just got to find room for it. And I use mine most mornings. Actually, that's the receiver of choice in the shack there. Right, I'm going to make this the final, so we'll see you all in the morning, and over to you, Martin. Then it goes to Justin. G3YJO, G4OJY.
G4OJY, G3YJO. Very good morning, Andy. Nice signal to give you a report, but I think you were up in the 9 region anyway, sounded like that. I only just switched on, I heard a little bit of mic at the end, and I'm on the wireless at 53 on low power, but I need to adjust it, I think. I've reset the AMU, but it just needs a little bit of a tweak. Anyway, let me see, go around once, and then I can comment on what folk are doing. A bit of a gloomy sort of day at the morning here, but there we go. So over to you, Justin. GW0 FZY, G3YJO.
GW0 FZY returning. Yep, okay there, Martin, and morning to you. You're a good signal, actually. You're about 10 over 9, so coming through pretty well. And I'm just trying to see who else I've got to give reports to. Stuart, yeah, 20 over 9, Stuart, if you're still there. And yeah, fine business on all the comments about the receiver. Yeah, well, I've just this Drake